All right, let's get into preparing our photos for HDR processing. So we're going to prep those raw files. Now we have our 3 raw files selected. What we're going to do is jump into this bright version right here. And if we want, we can basically check for kind of the overall colors, but really the auto white balance does a really good job, particularly during the daytime and outdoors of nailing that white balance. So I'm not too worried about the white balance as is. Now what I do want to do is just double check for noise. So let's just zoom into kind of these darker areas of the photo and just see if we need a little bit of noise reduction. Really, another tip for you guys is remember that when you're shooting in full RAW format, you're going to get more noise than when you're shooting in, like, say, a medium RAW. But with these types of scenes, that's okay because we need the extra resolution. It really makes for more detail in the photograph and it blows up better anyway. So we want to shoot full RAW in this type of scene, but just know that we are going to be dealing with a little bit more noise because, well, you're going to have less noise compression basically. All right, we're not compressing a big photo into a smaller one, which basically effectively will reduce noise. Okay, so I have noise reduction at 20. I think my white balance is fine the way it is. With noise reduction at 20, I'm going to select my other 2 photographs, hit Control S. If you wanted to, you could just hit check none and just check noise because that's the only thing that we actually changed. So that's totally fine too. At this point, we are ready to take these in for HDR processing. So I'm going to right click. And by the way, guys, if you're wondering why we do that noise reduction before Photomatix, is because once again, Lightroom is a much better raw processor than Photomatix. Photomatix we use to kind of reduce the noise in the lowest exposure, but I don't want it to worry about how good Photomatix's noise reduction is in comparison to Lightroom. Lightroom's is fantastic, and so I want to use Lightroom the most, you know, to kind of reduce overall noise and use Photomatix really where its strengths are. So we're going to go down to Export and click Photomatix Pro. Again, we don't need to align these images because, well, we shot it on a tripod. Removing ghosts, we will select this because there is going to be some movement in the water or potentially some movement in the water, and I wanted to kind of try and find that and automatically fix it if possible. Same settings, reduce noise in the underexposed image only, reduce chromatic aberration, and automatically re-import. Everything else stays default. Hit Export, and this is going to bring this up into Photomatix. And at this point, we're going to stop this video. We'll head into the next video where we're going to actually process our HDR photo inside of Photomatix.